What's up, everybody? What's up? Twitch.tv/The Trident Network. If you're watching live, thank you. Give yourself a shout out in the chat right now. If you're listening to this in the future on a podcast, thank you also for listening. However you're finding us, thank you for finding us. I'm Trent Dozier. This is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier. We're going to do some improv today with a great guest. It's going to be a great show. This is one I've been excited for a long time, and now the day's here, and I'm very excited. But before I introduce to you today's guest, as always, first we gotta check in with our technical producer Val Agnew. What's up?
Hey, Trent.
How you doing, Val?
Oh, I'm great. Happy to be here with you and our guest.
Oh yes. Well, it is a very, very Trident heavy episode of I Love Improv with Trent Dozier today. Of course, we are a part of the Trident Network. You are watching this, as I said earlier, on the Trident Network's Twitch channel. The Trident Network is a three-pronged deliverer of entertainment. Both we got videos like this, we have podcasts also like this, and there is pre-recorded stuff, which is technically also this. This is the perfect show in terms of the Trident Network, as I have said before, and I will continue to say. If you would like to subscribe to the Trident Network Twitch channel to watch not just this show when we air bi-weekly, but also there is a bunch of other great stuff that streams on the Trident channel Mondays through Wednesdays. You can go ahead and hit that subscribe button somewhere down here.
Yeah.
Somewhere down here.
Good job.
Tap that. Also, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can use that to get a subscription to one Twitch channel a month, and I think this is perfect. Why not make the Trident Network your subscription this month? What do you think about that, Val?
I think that was a great idea and one that everyone should take right now.
Yes. Speaking of streaming on Trident, next Friday is the 1-year anniversary of the creation of the Trident Network, which means we are going to be having a 1-year birthday party. Yeah! The Trident Twitch channel will be active from 3:30 to 10 p.m. Central Time, so that's 1:30 to 8 and Pacific, and then 4:30 to 11 East Coast. If you are around and want to pop in and out, that'd be great. Both Val and I will be. I mean, Val will obviously be an ever-present presence throughout the entirety of the stream, but I'll be popping in, and our guest this week will also be popping in. But we can talk a little bit more about that at the end of the show. Right now, I think it's time. Unless Val, there's anything else you want to throw in before we get going?
No, that's it. Great job.
Perfect. Everybody, if you're in the chat watching live, please give a warm welcome to this week's guest. He is in Chicago. He is an improviser. He's someone that I love to watch. Very funny. And he is also the host of the Trident Network's own Disney adult podcast. Please give it up for my guest this week, Devin Henderson.
Ooh, bam, 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 bam.
Oh, yeah. Dab on him, Devin. Dab on him. How you doing, Devin?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I gotta be honest, I am very excited to be doing improv with you. We were, pull back the curtain a little bit. We were just talking about if we had ever actually done improv together, and we don't think we have.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
It's one of the great unsolved mysteries of our time.
Yeah, but at least for me, that's the beauty of this show. I can find an improviser who I haven't been able to improvise with before, and I can get to do improv with them. It's beautiful.
I'm very, very excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. In the creation of the show, and of course your podcast Disney Adult, which is a part of the Trident Network, as I said, is a podcast that I personally love for a multitude of reasons, but the top two being, one, I think you, Devin, are very funny and are a fantastic host.
Stop.
Roll your eyes, whatever, it's true.
Stop.
And two, I myself am a Disney adult, so
We really are. We're out here.
I know. I've been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney. I just went to Disney World for the first time. Maybe
Okay,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that
Let's
later.
not, because this show will become yet another Disney podcast that I'm a part of. Once I get started, I can't stop.
As I said before, that's fine if that's the case. We've done it before, and we'll discuss Disney many more times. But before we get into any Disney talk, we got to get into some improv talk. This is I Love Improv after all. Come on, we got it. So what we are going to need in order for Devin and I to perform an improv scene for everybody today is a suggestion. If you're in the chat, we would love a suggestion from you. Now, a couple things before we get that suggestion. First, we want something robust, thick, long. We don't just, if you were going to give the suggestion of coffee mug, instead of giving the suggestion of coffee mug, maybe provide a suggestion of Devin and Trent are baristas who work at a local Starbucks, but they are also rivals, and Trent is bald and Devin has great hair.
Okay. Like I like that idea.
If you want to, if you want your suggestion to play into the strengths of Devin and myself as improvisers, that's also great too. Maybe you've never seen Devin or I improvise. That's okay, because before we get an official suggestion, Devin, I'm going to tell you what I love about you as an improviser. Does that sound good?
Sounds like a nightmare for me, but also wonderful. Do you know what I mean?
I do know. It's very hard, as we've discussed with pretty much every guest that's ever been on the show. It's very hard to sit there and just quietly accept compliments.
What's wrong with us? Damaged, all of us.
It's hard. People.
But yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, Devin. Here's what I love about you as an improviser, and I also think the stuff that I love about you as an improviser can also be applied to you as a human being. I think you are so versatile as a performer. I have seen you play. He's slack-jawed, immediately crying.
I am a little bit.
I think I've seen you play close to self a lot, and I've also seen you play wild characters, outlandish characters, and I think you are able to execute both things and everything in between so well. You are such a good scene partner. From what I've watched of you, you are always listening to your partners, both on stage and off, whether you're on stage or off stage. And I just feel like, you have a very loose, fun-loving attitude, which is great. And I love, because I feel like I also have a loose, fun-loving attitude, but underneath you can tell that you care deeply, which is also how I am. And I think that's why I love watching you so much. You are just like, your versatility and your caring are, I think, the two things that stick out to me the most. And then also, this is literally impossible to teach, but you're just naturally funny. And that is the greatest gift. That is the greatest gift of all. And so above all else, I could watch you improvise with anybody, because I know at a minimum, Devin Henderson on stage is going to be making me laugh off stage.
Oh my goodness. Stop.
Is that all fair? Is that all fair? Too much? Too little? Maybe too little. Maybe
well, first of all,
more.
The fact that you call me versatile truly is like bringing me to tears. I'm like, that's what I hope for.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That is so too nice.
Well, I thought.
And you know what? I agree to every single thing.
I was going to say, I thought it was the appropriate amount of niceness, but if you thought it was too much, that's fine. Okay, that's what I love about Devin. So if you have a suggestion for a scene that you would like to see Devin and I do right now, we would love to hear those suggestions. You can go ahead and throw those in the chat if you're in there right now. And of course, there is about a 20 or so second delay between what I am saying and when you're hearing it, if you are here live. Of course, if you're on a podcast listening on the pod, this means nothing to you right now. How's everything looking over there, Val?
Well, we have a detailed suggestion from someone named Naiad Emilio?
Ah, yes, Naiad Emilio. Naiad Emilio, a classic suggestion giver on I Love Improv with Trent Dozier.
Number one fan.
Yeah, and also creator of the I Love Improv with Trent Dozier theme song. Val, I'm ready to rock with that suggestion if you're ready to rock with that.
Let's do it. Okay. Trent and Devin are teen camp counselors. The campers are asleep in their bunks, and they are at a little late night campfire. The summer is winding down, and they're both headed into their senior year of high school when it's over.
Oh,
okay.
Very nice. I like that a lot. Thank you, Nia.
Thank you.
And thank you, Val.
Of course, have fun.
Okay, all the bunks are locked down. Everybody's asleep. Everything's looking good. Ooh, pass that.
Here. Be careful. Don't suck in. Don't get it all slobbery, by the way.
I have naturally wet lips.
Dry them off or something, because you slob up my joints all the time. By the way,
trying to suck the air in so that it dries out my lips, you know?
Yeah. Why? And I don't mean to bring up anything you don't want to talk about. Why are your lips so wet?
Genetics. Everyone in my family's got super wet lips. I don't know what it's all about. My dad maintains that we are like the most direct line of people who came from the fish originally, but I'm like, it's been like centuries, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even possible, but my dad swears by it. He's into a lot of fish type stuff, aquatic related things.
You should get a 23andMe.
Well, yeah,
or one of those DNA tests.
Yeah, but even if I do get that, it won't tell me if I'm evolved from fish or not. I mean, I think we all are.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my dad truly told us growing up that we were Native American because he tans in the summer. Oh. And I had to be a full adult before I realized that's probably untrue.
I got news for you. That is untrue for sure, and I'm glad that you realize that.
But I had to realize it.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's okay. We're growing into men anyways, so it's time for us to start exploring and making our own discoveries, like Magellan did, or who's the guys? Who are the guys who went around? Lewis and Clark. They did a lot of discovering.
Yeah.
We could be like Lewis and Clark. We could go around and figure some stuff out together.
I'd love to try. I'd love to get away from here, wouldn't you? I'd love to get away from this town. I'd love to get away from these kids.
I plan to apply exclusively out of state. I don't want to go to school here. I don't want to do college here. I don't want to do college here. I want to leave. I want to spread my wings. That's
what about our
Said.
plan?
Oh.
We made a pact when we were kids. What do you mean you want to go out of state?
You still want to do the pact?
What? You don't want to do the pact?
Well, I don't know. I thought that was just like some little kid crap that we made that pact when we were campers at the camp. We're freaking counselors here now. We're men. We're becoming men. We're learning about our heritage. We're learning that our dads don't know everything. I want to explore, taste the fruit of the world. I'm sick of the fruit of Pittsburgh.
What's wrong with the fruit of Pittsburgh?
You were just complaining about the fruit of Pittsburgh also. You said you wanted to spread your wings.
I want to go to like a new, like the neck, like I want to go to like Butler. I don't want to go to New York.
Oh, well, I didn't.
Is that where you're going to go, New York?
No, I didn't say New York. I don't know if the city is going to be my speed. So I'm going to try to apply to at least one school in every state except for Pennsylvania.
I know you want to go to New York.
No, why are you saying this? Just
because last summer when you started listening to all those Broadway albums, I knew you were changing. I knew it.
I don't listen. Have you listened to the Phantom of the Opera?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't think you have. If it doesn't make you want to move, if you maybe you've heard Phantom of the Opera, but I don't think you've listened to it. You know what I mean? Because I've really listened to it, and it New York is calling to me. New York is calling to me. It can call to you too, Brad. Why don't we go together?
What are you even gonna do there?
Act. I'll probably act. How hard could that be?
Oh.
I have an interesting face, and I can memorize. So I could be an actor, no problem.
Don't go.
Well, I'm not going yet. I have to apply to schools, and hopefully I'll get in, and maybe an acting program. Maybe Juilliard's on the table. I don't know. We'll go from there. Brad, there's no reason you can't apply to New York schools too. It's not that far of a drive from Pittsburgh either.
You would fit in a place like New York. I'm not going to fit in there.
Don't talk bad. I hate when you talk bad about yourself.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to fit in there.
I'm the one with the freaking wet lips. You're gonna be everyone's gonna be like, this guy's got normal ass lips. Here's his buddy, old
yeah. Because that's what everybody says. Look at that great star. Look how normal they are. No, you're gonna do so good there, and I'm just gonna be stuck here in Pittsburgh, sucking on pierogis.
Well, that's like a reason to stay in Pittsburgh. I haven't found a good pierogi anywhere outside of Pittsburgh, quite frankly. Best pierogi I've had outside of Pittsburgh is a frozen pierogi that was made in Pittsburgh and then shipped somewhere else.
A Mrs. T's?
Yes, Mrs. T's. That's exactly it. Go listen. When we get home, once this week's over, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go down to the store. I'm gonna get a bag of Mrs. T's. I'm gonna get some potatoes, some onions, mix everything together, have a nice little meal, and I'd like you to be a part of it. And we can start looking at schools together. We can still get into the same place. Brad, I want you to go with me wherever we go.
Okay. Maybe I do tech or something, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be like one of those people who pulls the ropes in the back.
Yeah, you definitely have the body for it. You're strong as hell.
Thank you. I have been doing squats.
Yeah, those ropes wouldn't be able to handle those Brad thighs, those beefy Brad thighs pulling that rope.
Stop.
Curtain down, curtain
Stop.
up. I won't stop complimenting my friend.
Okay, fine. We'll go to New York. Oh my God.
Yes.
We'll go to New York.
Yes. Brad, this is perfect. See, and now also we're honoring the Pact by going to the same school.
Oh my, we are honoring the Pact.
That's what I'm saying. We can still execute the
Pact.
Pact.
Fine, we're going. Oh my God, I'm going to New York.
We're going.
I got to get a suitcase.
We gotta first. We have to apply to schools. And
yeah.
We gotta get in. That won't be a problem for you. You're a friggin' brainiac over here.
You're smart too. Come on, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm okay, but I'm no Brad Nasser. Brad Nasser's gonna be valedictorian of our grade for the freaking.
I could still. We don't know. I could get salutatorian because that real fucking dickwad James is such a suck ass.
I hate James Dugan.
I fucking hate James. I hate him.
It's okay. Your brain is better than that, and your body is better than that, and you will continue to be the valedictorian of our class. I'm just worried that I'm not going to be smart enough to get into any of these New York schools.
Juilliard doesn't care if you're smart. They care that you're talented, and you're fucking talented, Kyle. You're talented.
I guess. I mean, I'm confident, but am I talented, you know?
You're a 6'3" man who can belt an E6.
Yeah.
Do you know how rare that is?
That is true. Yeah.
With your range, you could play every part of Phantom of the Opera. You could be the Phantom. You could be Christine. You could be that girl who almost gets crushed by a chandelier.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I guess I could. I guess I never really thought about that. Yeah.
You know, the more now you have me thinking, like, maybe New York is the only place I don't know. I mean, what are our parents gonna do? I mean, when my dad runs the pierogi shop by himself.
Yeah, but there's other people who work there, right? So he could get a weekend off and drive over or take the train or something, and maybe when the Steelers are in New York playing the Jets, we can have our parents come and we can watch the Steelers just beat up on the crappy Jets. That would be fun.
Okay,
that could be fun.
I'm kind of excited.
Good. I want us to continue our journey as human beings together, and I'm just like, I'm growing older and wiser, and I don't need my mom and dad to tell me what to do anymore.
No, I got caught with some weed in the console of my car.
Caught by who? Your dad or the cops?
The rents, my dad.
The rents? Oh, the freaking rents caught you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He caught me with weed in the car, and he gave me this whole speech about how I'm throwing my whole life away, and I told him, like, Dad, I'm going to be valedictorian or maybe salutatorian.
At a minimum, salutatorian. At a minimum.
Yeah. But essentially he said if I just keep smoking weed through the rest, I don't know what he's going to do. He keeps saying he's going to ground me, and I'm nervous because I'm scared of him.
No, Brad, listen. This is why we got to get out of Pittsburgh, because you're the smartest kid I know. You've been smoking weed since like kindergarten, and so maybe that is playing a part into why you're valedictorian every year, highest grades in our class every year. You don't need your pierogi sucking dad telling you what to do anymore. Let's go to New York. We're gonna live our lives. We're gonna become adult men, and then your dad won't be scary to you anymore. Your dad won't be scary to me anymore, because we're gonna be Broadway stars.
What the hell? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm fucking jazzed.
I'm doing some jazz squares.
Watch me squat this stump.
Oh my god! Holy crap, Brad, that's incredible. Ow! Some of the embers.
Fuck, Kyle.
Some of the embers.
Shit. Your whole back.
Whoa, on my back.
It's spreading to your hair.
Oh, not my hair.
Where's that tarp? Oh my fucking god. Where's the fucking tarp? I'm gonna just throw the spit bucket at you.
Do it. I'm so hot and so cold at the same time.
Kyle. Kyle, I don't want to make you like fucking freak out or anything.
Yeah, tell me, what's it look like? What's the
I
situation?
don't want to fucking freak you out.
Tell me what the situation is.
But you're fucking like, you look fucking bad, dude.
Oh,
Oh my god.
No,
I have to call somebody. I have to fucking call somebody.
My perfect voice.
Where's the fucking
My perfect voice.
Where the fucking camp counselors? Who am I gonna fucking call?
My voice.
Oh, and I'm high as hell. Oh my god. I'm high as hell.
I can't hit the nose.
No, Kyle, trust me. I got you. I'm gonna call somebody, okay? I'm gonna call somebody. Fuck your face! Okay, maybe it's not as bad as I think. Wait. Maybe it's not.
Phantom of the Opera.
Don't stop.
I have to see if I can still see. I can't sing.
No.
I can't sing.
Focus on your lower register. Sing from your chest. Your chest is barely burnt.
Is dead.
I'm so sorry. Why did I fucking have to bench that stump like a fucking idiot?
No, Brad, no. You listen to me, Brad.
Fucking James. This is why James is going to be valedictorian, because I'm a piece of shit who disappoints my dad, who's never going to fit in fucking New York, and I just burn my fucking best friend trying to fucking impress him.
No, Brad, you stop talking bad about yourself. My career might be over before we ever got started, but if you prove one thing, it's that you are physically as strong as I said you were. Your future is bright, Brad. You leave me behind. You don't worry about me. You march forward into this world. You go to New York. You go to Juilliard.
You have to come, dude. You have to come.
I'll come. I'm sure the doctors are better in New York than they are in Pittsburgh when it comes to skin grafting.
Oh my God. Turn around and let me see the back. Oh my God.
Is it bad?
Oh my God.
Fred, is it?
We have to call somebody. They're gonna know we're high. Oh my God, this is why my dad said not to smoke. Is he said that one day something bad's gonna happen and then you're gonna be fucking filled with drugs and the cops are gonna come and then you're not gonna have any way to explain it away. You know, my best friend fucking looks like a charred marshmallow and I can't fucking do nothing.
And that's the scene. Oh my God.
Wow.
Those last 4 minutes were just like
Chaos.
you can't come back from that, you know?
I know. I knew when I started screaming that, like, oh, fuck, I'm making him rap the scene. How long was that? Was that even 5 minutes?
It was 15 minutes exactly.
I broke my chair and everything.
I always say the way I feel like a really good indicator of how I feel after a show is how sweaty I am, because I feel like a lot of shows where it ends up just being people kind of standing around talking, everyone's like, yeah, good show, and then we're just all like still comfortable in ourselves afterwards. I want to be, you know, trying to catch my breath, dripping with sweat, because that's how, you know, we peaked the scene. I thought we peaked the scene pretty perfectly, and then, you know, there was nowhere else to go, but it was like, I don't know, there was nowhere else we needed to go. That's how I'm feeling exactly how I want to feel after I do an improv scene, quite frankly.
That was a great scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was.
And I was
so
surprised
funny.
how physical we got on. This is my first time doing like virtual improv.
Yeah, when I had talked to you about doing it, you had mentioned that, and to which I was surprised, just because I assume everyone during the pandemic had tried online improv at least once. But how did it feel? Did it feel? Obviously, I'm sure it felt different than.
You know what? There's so many. It feels different. There's so many good things about it. Now that I do it, I'm upset that I spent the last 2 years being like, it's never gonna be the same, and I'm just gonna. It's because it's kind of a little. It's different. It's very different, and it's sort of like admitting that, okay, well, I'm at least for the time being giving up on that being a possibility, and I'm gonna focus on this, which I think is what kept me from it. But it's like you can't focus on anything but your partner when your partner is literally the only thing I see.
Yeah.
It's also weird to see your own face when you're doing it. It's a little weird to be like, oh wow, I'm really getting red.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's very funny because we're doing this in a Zoom, and so everybody watching the stream is watching the box set up perfectly as Val, our technical producer, has laid out beautifully. But Devin and I on the Zoom, we see what's happening that everyone else is seeing, but we also see ourselves individually. Actually, now that I'm saying that, I know there's a freaking way to do it so you don't see.
No, I liked it. I liked being able to see, like.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because that way I can see. Because I've mentioned this before, I am reversed. What I'm doing. So if I raise my right hand, it looks different in my Zoom bubble than it does in my
wow.
show bubble. Wild. Yeah, it's same for you.
Wild.
But how did it? Like something Val and I have talked about with pretty much almost every guest I feel like on the show is the pros and the cons of doing online improv and not being able to be with your partner. I think it's interesting. I totally agree that it's like the eye contact you would have with a person on stage is like not real online because you truly can't tell where they're looking. But it's also interesting because, like you said, Devin, it's just you and me. There's literally no other distraction, no audience anywhere. We literally only hear Val.
And that's very nice. I will say it's
Yeah.
very nice to have you, Val, on the mic, because it was enough to be like, oh, okay, this is, at least there's something here. I mean, you feel like there's something here, but sometimes I feel like, you know, I really love improv podcasts, and I always want to make one. Every 6 weeks, I have a different idea for an improv podcast. And sometimes I feel like they get really masturbatory because you have nobody else there. But hearing you, Val, even just like little like microphone noises and stuff are just making me like, okay, there is somebody else here. The scene is beyond us, at least. But I can't believe how easy and good it felt. Why did I chicken shit for 2 years?
Did it feel easy and good because it was online, or did it feel easy and good because you and I like to do
because
improv
there's
together?
magic in the room, baby?
Yeah, that's the real question.
We're on fire.
Makes you think.
I was also surprised with the same thing I do in improv, like live improv, which is I get the suggestion, and then from there, it's almost an insult to how little I honor the suggestion. I have such a bad habit of being like, okay, tomato sauce, wonderful, thank you, and then be like, we're underwater. It's a good jumping off point.
It's very interesting because the whole point of a suggestion is literally just to be able to have a jumping off point, so you can start, because we are literally in improv, you're creating something from literally nothing. So it's helpful to have that, basically, people would point to like TJ and Dave being like, well, they don't get a suggestion, but that's true. They don't ask for a suggestion, but they both literally stand there and absorb everybody in the audience before they start. And then here's a dirty little secret. They take what they saw in the crowd and use that to help inform. Now it's not like Devin and I heard the same suggestion, so it's different in that sense, but like they both have stuff that they're working off of, No one is ever truly going from the ground up. Like I said Pittsburgh because I know Devin is from Pittsburgh. So I was like, I'll bring up Pittsburgh because that's a shared thing that we have, and also I'm mischievous, so I want to.
But you're really good at that. I will say you're really good at giving a gift that that your scene partner has a lot to play with. Like you're really good at, in just normal life, knowing things about people and taking an interest in them, so that when you improvise with them, you can be like, oh, okay, Devin's from Pittsburgh. Oh, Devin runs a Disney podcast, so he's going to know stuff about Disney.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful on the receiving end to be like, perfect, Pittsburgh, pierogis, whatever, and like. Yeah. I was so quickly wanted to like just jump into a Pittsburgh accent that I hadn't been using for the rest of the scene, but then I'm glad I did.
It would have been worth it. It would have been worth it to hear the Pittsburgh accent. I will say
it's an ugly accent.
Also, I love, the person who gave us our suggestion and also the theme song for the show, and is also my partner Nia D'Amelio, is also from Pittsburgh, and so that's something that obviously you and her have connected over, but like I literally don't think I've ever had a pierogi until Nia and I started dating. And then also the brand of frozen pierogi we get is Miss T's.
I know.
That part was so,
I
to
know.
me, that was like such a rewarding payoff for me.
So for anybody who hasn't ever been to a baseball game, this is how big of a deal pierogies are in Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh has a huge Polish population, or like Western Pennsylvania has a huge Polish population and a huge German population that has been there forever. We just did, speaking of 23andMe, I've been doing the other version of it where you like look through records, Ancestry.com.
Oh yeah,
I did that with like kind of for my parents a little bit. Well, for myself, but also for my parents. And we found out that like my mother's family has been in the same town for 300 years. Like wild. It's a wildness. So like people stay in Pittsburgh, and it's like a big cultural thing to not leave.
Yeah.
But if you've ever been to Polish food is so big in Western Pennsylvania that for no reason whatsoever at the Pirates game, every Pirates game, they have 4 people dress up as pierogis and pierogi mascot things and race.
The races, yes.
It's like at the 7th inning stretch or something. Like they take a little break, and every game a different pierogi wins. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And I think it's sponsored by Mrs. T's.
Oh my! Well, they are. Listen, go down
She's
to
our
your
number one
local,
girl.
go down to your local grocer, go to the frozen food section, grab a bag of Mrs. T's pierogies. You won't be disappointed. The way Nia does it, she also grills some onions and butter, and then we just go
I
to
could
town
talk.
on those
Okay,
pierogies.
so here's the and I already know Nia knows.
And Nia, you're in the chat. Feel free to chime in if you
Feel
want.
free to chime in if you
Nia's-
agree or disagree.
Mia's naming all of these pierogies that are raised.
So here's what I do. I take the pierogies, frozen, because they're frozen.
Yes.
I don't boil them. I put them in hot water so that they thaw enough to cook, but they're not like fully cooked right now. Some people boil them and then they'll throw them in some butter and onions. Butter and onions are an absolute necessity. And also, by the way, I don't know if this is a Pittsburgh thing, but like they come in like flavors like bacon and chive.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we've
Potato
only
and cheddar.
Plain. Yeah. Yes.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. I agree.
Hot water till they're thawed, and then in a skillet, butter and onions, and then you throw the pierogies in, season them if you want, and so that they're crispy on the sides.
Oh.
That's what I do. Now that's me being extra from the moment I'm born.
Well, Devin, I'll say this. That's very interesting. I do, because the way Nia does do them, they aren't like necessarily crispy, and it's certainly not a detraction.
Oh no, they're delicious any way you can get them.
Anyway, yeah. But
Out the trash, off the ground.
That has alerted my taste buds a little bit. A crispy pierogi. Let me tell you, I can try that.
I mean,
I'd
look.
be interested in trying that.
Don't fix what's not broken. A boiled pierogi is very delicious.
I haven't had a bad pierogi yet. So
butter and onions are absolutely necessary. A million% necessary.
Yeah. Well, we could keep talking about pierogies, but we'll shift back to the improv of it. Oh, go ahead, Val.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I thought it was so lovely, especially given the fact that you've never improvised online, that you did use your space and you were really physical. I thought that was so cool watching this, because I mean, I know you have that energy, Devin, anyway, so like I'm not surprised per se.
Yeah, I do.
But like it was just so neat to see that you were like so free right out of the gate in this different format. You just kind of embraced it. That was really cool to see.
Well, I will say thank you so much. And I will say I've watched enough virtual improv that sometimes, you know, it can I don't know. I was really nervous that doing a scene where you're so clearly like you don't have the ability to object work an environment around you as easily.
Yeah.
I always feel like, okay, I used to feel like before doing this, and I completely changed my mind in 15 minutes, but I used to think like, oh, if I was going to do improv, all my scenes would be based on a reason why we would be on a Zoom call, and we just focus on the relationship and the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was surprised with like even just the energy that you were giving and being able to do like sound effect-y object work made me feel like, oh, I really do feel like we're in this space and stuff like that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're the first person I think I've ever seen really lean into the sound effects stuff, which I thought was so cool.
That's maybe because I've been doing podcasts for the Trident Network that I'm like aware of like like literally.
Yeah, but also like when we're doing it, when you're doing improv live, there's not really. I mean, maybe a tech person will throw in a sound effect or two, but like it's like your teammates on the side are like someone on stage is like the wind's blowing, and then someone on the sidelines like ooh, whoosh, whoosh. You know, so like it makes total sense to me. I can't believe I have never really leaned into the sound effects when you think about it that way, because I would if I'm live on stage. So why wouldn't I here?
You know what it is? Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't mean to speak for you. I don't mean to put words in your mouth.
Please speak it.
I'm so we play with my favorite team of my babies. I love them so much. My son Daniel. We're a cult. We're in a cult together. But we will use sound effects primarily, I've noticed, to kind of like fuck up the scene on that we're not in. So like if two of us are being too like if the scene is focused on one thing and somebody on the side notices that we need an energy change or something, you'll hear like Cole or John or Sarah be like and like, and just like whatever they can do off stage to kind of make you feel like Jake is really great at it. But it's harder to do, I think, when you're here. I'm glad I just like did like felt it was needed, but it helped me build the space and understand, like, communicate what I would be acting below this screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, because really we're just looking at everybody from like the shoulders up, and then if our freaking hands and arms pop in,
or digits,
as we all now do spirit fingers. But
it also felt good because whenever I threw that thing, the sound effect, I was thinking a lake in my brain, like but when you said embers, I was like, better, perfect, wonder, like genius. It's in the scene. It's so it was wonderful.
Yeah, that was also a great. It's so again, something Val and I have talked about with many a guest is it just, not only is this being recorded for people to watch, but it's also comes out as a podcast. So trying to, create as much what am I trying to say? Fill out the world.
Yeah.
But like, so you can imagine what's going on, basically.
Yeah.
Because like you, Devin, I listen to a lot of improv podcasts, and I have also wanted to do an improv podcast for a long time. And actually, when Val and I talked about this initially, I think I wanted one or the other. And then Val was like, why can't it be both things? And I was like, why can't it be both things? Val is right. That's why Val's a freaking genius.
We can
Val's
change multitudes. Come on. Yeah.
Val's a three-pronged multitude of creative energy.
Val, you also said something on a previous episode of this podcast. I think it was either Cam or I don't think it was Meredith. Maybe it was. I don't know. But you said something about like doing virtual improv makes you almost like lean into your scene partner a little bit more because you're there is no audience to distract you or to say like you're not factoring them in when you're choosing beats in the scene or you're making choices. Right. Which then immediately I found that so helpful. I didn't think that dead on, because then as we're in the scene, I was sort of like, when I had downtime or when there was a pause, I would go back to, okay, what do we know about each other? What do we know? Okay, he's on fire. That's going to fuck up his whole, everything we've established. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've said that multiple times, so you probably heard it on both.
I was going to say, I was like, I think it was on Cam, but I also don't remember.
Could have been on both episodes, quite frankly.
Yeah. What is... Oh, sorry. Oh, go ahead, Val. I'm sorry.
No, Trent, were you going to say
Please.
something?
Anybody but me. Anybody but me.
I was just going to say, like, Devin, when you brought up how you thought it was water, and then Trent made it, an ember, and then you went into that, and you were like, that's even better. There was so much of that going both ways with you two in this scene, like where you would do or say something and then the other person would just like agree with whatever it was. And like sometimes when you improvise, especially with people you've never improvised with before, there's a lot of like meta commentary sort of and like the feeling out.
You were so true.
Process.
That is unbelievable.
And like that just didn't happen here at all. Like I don't even know if this one was intentional, but like Devin, you kept saying salutatorian, like you added
salutatorian.
like salutatorian, that's what it was. You added like 8 syllables.
What is it? Because I said it wrong first time and I was like, that's not right. That's not good.
I think it's just salutatorian, right?
Oh, that sounds correct. I think it's a bad word to begin with, but I really, the second time I did it, I was like, oh, Devin, I think those are 3 words.
But it was so good. And then Trent just started saying it the exact same way. Like, there was no, like, I think it's salutatorian. There was just, like, yeah, it's salutatorian.
I will say that was absolutely me yes-anding Devin, but that was also me assuming Devin knew what the word was. Because I didn't. I knew there was a word for second place valedictorian. I would have said like second place valedictorian.
Just even better.
Yeah. How wild.
It was also like one of my favorite things in improv is the reason to Val, to go back to your point of there wasn't really a feeling out process between Devin and I, despite having never improvised before, is like Devin and I, like Nia and I have been on Devin's podcast 2 or 3 times, and we talked to Devin, we're friends with Devin. So it's like, I didn't have to like, go through the weeds to figure out. And as I've said, I've seen Devin improvise a bunch and I love watching it, which is why I wanted to do it. So there was no, we didn't really, I felt like we didn't need to have a feeling out process because I felt like we both trusted each other no matter what. And we're just gonna yes and each other because we felt comfortable with each other already. And then from there, it was like beautiful because it was my most favorite thing in the world is just like naturally discovering stuff and basically like accidentally falling into the perfect thing. Because like thinking about it now, the fact that the musical was Phantom of the Opera, and then
oh my god, we're so smart,
horribly scarred.
We're
by
so
the end.
Smart.
Like, can you believe that we wrote that scene ahead of time? And
that is wild. So I have a real. So the thing I love about improv is what is happening in the moment is all that matters.
Yes.
And to our point about like, one of the reasons I am so bad with honoring the suggestion sometimes is because once the scene starts, I find something in the scene that I find more inspiring or that makes me do something else. So then like the it could be space or whatever, but then I see the way someone's picking up something. I'm like, oh, they're lost or something. Yeah. Why did I start that sentence? What were we talking about right before this? Oh, what were we talking about right before?
We were talking about how it just kind of, everything connected naturally.
Yeah.
And the Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera. So I am another thing that is like what I love about improv and what I think is it's a beautiful art form. And sometimes I feel like, even people who love improv think it's like cool to kind of be like, I like improv, but I don't like it that much. Yeah. That drives me crazy because I think it's a beautiful art form. And one of the things about it is like there's something magical about sharing a space and creating something together where we'll get off stage oftentimes in our scenes and then be like, oh my God, I didn't realize how that connected and to the audience, it looks like genius moves played out by us. But in reality, it feels like the magic of two people agreeing to not know what it is together so that your brain sort of starts picking up like fire because you associate that subconsciously with whatever.
Yeah.
Having said all that, it was genius choices that we did intentionally, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's like it would have ended differently if you threw it into the lake as you were assuming, but because our brains are not the same, I was like, well, the fire's right here.
Yeah.
And it would be funny if I caught on fire. And then as I was going, I was like, oh, I'm just going to act like I'm blind now from the fire. But then you were like, your back's on fire. And I was like, oh, that's a way better choice. And then because Devin made a choice that I thought was better than what I was making internally, it led me to be like, oh, we had this whole conversation about how I have a beautiful voice. It'd be way funnier if my throat was effed up as opposed to my eyes. Like, that's way funnier. And then it's just this natural, beautiful thing because we're both like we're building piece by piece together and figuring it out together.
It is cool. I mean, like, not to sound wax poetic about it, but like one of my biggest pet peeves, and this is something truly unique to, I think, the comedy community sometimes, is that you are so invested in this and you love it so much and you really believe it that sometimes I feel like it feels corny to love something that much.
Yeah.
So then I can count on that, and I can name names, but I won't do it. Sometimes people in the community who will kind of shit on being too into it or being too affected by it or thinking it's too cool, when in reality I'm like, didn't we all moved to this city to do this? We all like work crappy jobs so that we can be free like we've devoted our lives to it. So then when people are
we've paid thousands
it's
of
so
dollars
weird.
in
It's
class,
so weird
and
to have that be
like,
your truth. And then be like, but it ain't that cool. What are we doing here?
We are I agree. The thing I've said before on this show, and I'll say it again in the future, I'm sure, is we are all adults who paid to be taught how to play make-believe. What are we doing? Obviously,
and do it like every chance we get. Devote our lives to it.
Mm-hmm.
like, don't act like
Yeah.
you're too cool for this, because I know you paid the same amount of bullcrap money to take these classes that I did. So you're just as much. If you think doing improv is a loser's game, then you and I are both losers. Person who thinks they're too cool for improv while doing improv.
Yeah, person.
Yeah, person.
Get the hell out of here, person.
And that obviously isn't the three of us, because we are here on this podcast right now talking
absolute
about how much we
dweebs.
do love improv. And you know
it is
what?
wonderful.
We love it.
I
Well,
think,
go ahead, Val.
Oh no,
Nope,
I was.
go,
This
Val.
might
Go,
launch
Val.
us into a longer conversation, but
Do it.
I was
No,
gonna-
do it.
Please.
I think that like the part of the reason that happens is because the culture in Chicago, at least prior to the pandemic, and I certainly hope that it doesn't turn into this again, had become really competitive, right? Like,
yeah, baby.
you have to get on the right team, take the right classes, see the right people and the right shows and all this stuff, and it was all like climbing a ladder. And so like you inherently almost like couldn't trust everyone because they might step on you to get where they were going, or you know, you might have to do that with them or whatever, right? Like there's this inherent distrust that creates when it's competitive. And like I think that makes everyone worse improvisers, because the whole point of improv is getting on stage and trusting the other people on stage with you completely. Like that is why you two had such a great scene, because each thing that you threw out there, the other person was like, that's great, I'm gonna build off of that. And there was no like inner monologue of like, I'm gonna make a move to make myself look good, or I just simply don't trust this other person, so I'm not gonna listen to what they're saying to me and I'm just gonna do my own thing. Like there was none of that. But you saw a lot of that in shows in Chicago prior to the pandemic because of that, because there was this inherent distrust that competitiveness built. And I've noticed that like since I've gone back to performing on stage, I'm really trying to like let that go, because it's still like lingers, you know, like from before. And trying to just get on stage and remind myself I'm only playing now with people who I trust implicitly and who I enjoy playing with, so I don't need to worry about that. Just get on stage and have fun, and that's what it should be.
I know. If you want to see the worst improv, if you want to see some of the worst improv in the world, ask to sit in on a house team audition. Like that shit is so awful.
Yeah.
We're all playing our worst. We're all like focused on the wrong shit. It's so wild.
Trying to get cast.
But it feels nice to come back to like doing it after. By the way, all vying for shit that, if a pandemic has taught us anything, that shit is such bullshit. Once in a while, like when
none of it mattered.
Sometimes when we'll play now, we'll get a little jittery and nervous because it's been so long and you want it to go good, and shows are different a little bit now. But every once in a while, we'll catch ourselves like focusing too much on it and not having fun, and then be like, didn't we survive a pandemic? And like sit at home thinking, if this ever comes back, I am never going to fret over this shit like I did before. I'm never going to be sitting at home being like, why didn't I get a call back? Like, girl, people are dying, Kim.
Yeah.
There's like 4 people in the world who get paid like a living wage to do improv. Like, just, it's not for that. Just have fun and enjoy doing it with the people that you enjoy doing it with.
And this podcast is probably only interesting to improvisers, but like, so I think we all could make more money doing it and actually make money if we wouldn't be so laser focused on like these paths that we it's so weird. It's so, but I'm really glad we did this. This has been a phenomenal show.
Well, actually, I thought Val was going to say our scene was great because both Devin and I have podcasts on the Trident Network, but
wait a minute.
Val's reasoning was good too.
That went without saying. I mean, that was just implied.
Yes, of course. As I mentioned at the top, I'll say it again. Devin hosts the podcast Disney Adult, which I have been lucky enough to be on twice, I believe. No, 3 times for me. If you want to check it out, I was on the Monsters Inc. episode, the Avengers Endgame episode with Val, and the Spider-Man No Way Home episode.
Hey-o.
And that is a great podcast. Devin, it's on a bit of a hiatus right now. You're trying to figure out what season 4 is going to be, or
Oh my god, we know what season 4 is going to be, and I'll release it here because this is a Trident
Oh my
exclusive.
God. Oh my god, I'm legitimately very excited.
Spider-Man extra features. Who? Nobody's talking about that anymore. They're talking about what we're gonna do for our 4th season, and by a landslide vote. And when I say a landslide, I mean I was surprised with how into this people were.
Mm-hmm. I voted.
Season
I did
4,
too.
and oh my god, we'll see if you got what your wishes were. Are movies based on rides.
Oh,
That's not what I voted for.
And based on Trent's
Not what I
reaction,
voted
I now remember that you absolutely hated that one, and I think you
Ranked
really
it low.
liked one that people weren't into.
I
Like,
think I
yeah.
did like duds. Wasn't there one that was like duds or
we'll
something?
we'll be doing them all. We'll be
Yeah.
doing them all. It's just the order in which we're gonna do them.
Totally.
But I could not. People were so like, I want to see movies based on rides, and we're like, okay.
Nia
Which will be
apparently
fun
voted
because
for
they're
that.
always the most fun when the movies are awful, and
Yes,
as we all
yes.
know.
Oh, I mean, pretty much all of them were, except for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, and then like Jungle Cruise, I guess it was pretty good.
I didn't hate it. I didn't.
Yeah,
hate
it's
it.
not
Cruise-
awful. It's not, the Tower of
Oscar?
Terror or Haunted Mansion, which we'll be sitting through. Or Dinosaur. Do you know Dinosaur was based on a ride? I rode that ride before and after that movie, and it wasn't until this year where I was like, that's what that movie is based off of?
Let me tell you, I wrote Dinosaur for the first time in January, and it was
Oh.
GD terrifying.
It's
Is
a
that
fun
the
time.
one where the guy from CSI is like the scientist?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now wait. No, you first.
Okay, I just.
Okay,
wanna
no,
say
but
fun
wait,
fact,
just give me one moment.
The only celebrity we have seen, the only celebrity we've seen, and it was the first one we saw, was, oh shoot, Nia can type his name in. I think it's Wallace Langham is that guy's name. But Nia was like, he's Dr. Seeker in the Dinosaur pre-show video, and I was like, I don't know, he's the guy from CSI as far as I'm concerned.
100%. And you did get it right. She confirmed.
Nice.
Boss Langham.
So my favorite thing to do when I go to Disney World one of them is to play the game of like spot the actor in the ride promo thing.
Oh yes.
Felicia Rashad is in one, and I can't remember what
It's Dinosaur. She's
Is
also
it
in
Dinosaur?
Yeah.
It's so you're like, Mrs. Huxtable? You were a lawyer. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, listen to Disney Adult.
Yes.
We now know season 4 will be movies based on rides.
But
baby.
if you
Will
need
be
to
good.
get your fix prior to when season 4 drops, Devin, Trent, and I will all be on Friday's Megapod portion
Yes.
of the birthday party.
Not this Friday.
Not this Friday, sorry.
Next Friday.
Although,
But if you are listening on the podcast, it is this Friday.
Correct.
Just to be clear, it is March 5th.
It's
5th.
March 4th, first of all.
March 4th. March 4th. 4.
oh my god.
March 4th, 2024.
Oh my god.
God.
Yeah, so on just to give you some detail on what the birthday party is going to do. I'm sorry Trent, we're going over time, but I swear I'll be quick.
No, it's okay.
So we're going to have like sort of an opening. You're going to get to meet like all the sort of leadership of the Trident, and we're going to like cut to a lot of videos and trailers and stuff of things that are going on at Trident. Then at 5:30, we're going to have the Megapod, which is where all of us will be on, along with a bunch of other hosts from other podcasts at Trident. And we're all going to have segments in the show that are from or inspired by segments that we do in our own shows. So it'll be really, really fun. Everyone's going to hang out and have a fun time. It'll be great. And then after that, we're doing trivia.
Ooh.
Birthday themed trivia night. So, and it's just straight up trivia night, just like we do typically on the 4th Monday of the month. But it's just birthday themed. So you can register to participate in trivia. And then we'll blow out the candles and make our wishes and call it a night. So please join us for any part of that or all of that. If you're, looking for something to do on a Friday night, we're going to have a blast. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be fun. Everybody, make sure you check out Disney Adult, or, if Devin ever posts about a My Son Daniel show, go check out My Son Daniel. They are fun. They are, as we were discussing pre-show, scattered to the wind. So who knows what combination of people.
That's our business, okay? You'll see who you see when you show up.
But you'll have a good time no matter what the
I'll
collection is. And then also, next Friday or this Friday, depending on if you're watching live or listening on the podcast, March 4th, 3:30 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Tune in to the Trident birthday party. And the final thing I will say, and this is only relevant to people watching live because the event is tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on a podcast, sorry you missed it. There will be more in the future. Previous guest of the show, Cam Hurt, and I are doing an actual real life live show here in LA tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. There are still some tickets left, I believe. It's 7 p.m. at the Lyric Hyperion. It's called Cam and Trent's Family Reunion. So if you are in the local LA area and want to see some improv and other stuff, it's a comedy variety show. So come check that out if you're around. Free tickets are only $10. Go to lyrichyperion.com for tickets. Okay, I think that's it. Any final thoughts from anybody else? Are we ready to get out of here? Go have some pierogis.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here, huh?
Okay, let's get the hell out of here. We're gonna eat some pierogis, onions, potato, cheese. It's perfect. Butter them up. Gotta do it. I love pierogis, and more importantly, I love improv.